See the birds?
More pajaritos. Sí. Bueno, muy bueno.
Hi, I'm Tom Rosenbauer, and I'd like to tell you about an exciting addition to our Helios line of fly rods, the new Helios Switch Rods. Now, switch rods are kind of like a cross between a single-handed rod and a double-handed rod, and they're great for someone who fishes big water but can't quite reach those spots that are way out there in the middle of the river with a single-handed rod. The neat thing about switch rods is they're quite a bit lighter and usually a couple feet shorter than a spey rod, so you don't have that big massive rod where you feel like you're overgunned on a trout stream or a small steelhead river or something like that. To give you an idea, an 8-weight spey rod is 13.5 feet long and weighs 9 ounces. On the other hand, the 11-foot switch rod weighs only 5.25 ounces. So when you're casting all day long, you're high sticking, you're mending line, you've got that rod way up there, the difference of that 4 ounces in weight makes an incredible difference at the end of the day. Switch rods are so versatile that you can do a standard overhead cast with one hand, you can do a standard overhead cast with 2 hands to give yourself a little bit of assistance when you get tired. You can do a single spey, a double spey, a snap tee, or any of the other casts that you might do with a spey rod, as well as the cast that you could do with a single-handed rod. You can really pick up a switch rod instantly and cast almost twice as far as you could with a single-handed rod of the same line size. So switch rods are not only good for big rivers, they're also good for fishing in saltwater. You can use them from a boat, and they're especially useful in the surf because when you're fishing from shore, the fish always seem to be just beyond your longest cast, and that switch rod will really drive that line way out into the surf and where the fish are feeding just beyond the surf line. We make Helios switch rods as light as a 5-weight for fishing dry flies and nymphs, for trout, high sticking and nymph. We make 6 and 7 weights for fishing streamers and bigger nymphs and bigger trout flies. We also make an 8-weight for fishing salmon, steelhead, and saltwater. Of course, you could also use a 6 and a 7-weight in a lot of salmon and steelhead rivers where the fish are smaller. If you've been intimidated by spey rods, I think you really ought to try a Helios switch rod. They're the lightest switch rods in the world, and I think you'll find the transition to be very easy, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with a Helios switch rod, particularly if you're fishing bigger rivers like this.